guys, welcome to Home Sweet Homeschool. If you're new here, my name is Ashley and I'm a homeschooling mom to one. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Seatwork pages. Now, you would probably need to be a user of Gather Round Homeschool for this to matter to you. But if you're interested in Gather Round or you already use Gather Round Homeschool and you don't know what to do with those Seatwork pages or you're looking for some ideas, then you definitely want to check out this video. Share it with anybody you know that's kind of struggling with Seatwork, or if they're thinking about using Gather Round, you may want them to check out my channel. On here, I have tons of flip throughs about Gather Round and how we use it for our only child. We love it. This is our third year with them and we love it. But today's video is all about Seatwork. I have seen so many questions, countless questions on how to approach the Seatwork pages, how to make them work for you. And there are tons and tons of different ways out there, I'm sure, but we're just going to talk about a few of them today just to kind of keep it simple. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, starting with the year 2 units from Gather Round Homeschool, there was the introduction of the Seatwork page. And on this page, you're going to find copywork, you're going to find the spelling for whatever level your child is in, some character training, today's schedule, and like the back has a place for their copywork, a place to take some notes on their day, character trait, all those kind of things. So that's what I'm talking about when I say Seatwork pages. So there's one for each week. So the problem comes to be, okay, there's one for each week, but if we're doing a 5-day week schedule or a 4-day week schedule, we only have one copy. So what do we do with it? How do we use it? And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Just some ways you can use those Seatwork pages. So here's number 1. Don't use them. You absolutely do not have to use the Seatwork pages. Don't think that you have to. You can toss them out if you already have spelling that works for you or anything like that. Or if you just don't want to bother with it, you don't have to. So I don't want to say like just throw it away. You don't have to worry about it. But don't get so hung up on it that it keeps you from using the curriculum. So you don't have to. The whole thing is you don't have to use the Seatwork pages. They're there if you want to use them. Sometimes, depending on the unit, we do use the spelling and the copywork, and sometimes we don't use it at all. So that is an option to just not use it. But you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to learn how to use it. So if the option for you to get rid of it and to not really use it isn't an option, we're going to talk about something else that you can do and some ways I've seen some people using it. So throw it out, don't use it at all, or just kind of pick and choose. That's number 1. Number 2 is to photocopy the Seatwork for each day. So yeah, there's only one copy for the week. Just make copies of it so your kids have access to it so that they can write on their schedule or so they have a place to look at their spelling words. You can make a copy for every day of the week. That would totally work. The third thing is to take this page and put it in something like this, like a clear sleeve. I think I got this at the Target. It used to be the Dollar Spot, Bullseye's Playground. I think I got that there, but you can get a huge pack of these on Amazon. I'll try to link some if I can think about it. You could also just use clear sheet protectors. It doesn't matter. But you could stick this inside of here and your child could write on it and erase it each day. But here's the thing. Even if you photocopy this or if you use the sleeve, you still have to have a way for your kids to practice the spelling because just looking at it isn't really a way to practice spelling. So one thing that Gather Round does include, I think in some of the lower, it's not in the middle school notebook, but she does have these ideas in the back for ways to practice spelling that are kind of out of the box. It's using other things besides just writing the words down. These are some ideas, and it also comes like with an explanation of things on the back. So check your files, check the appendix because this is in there and this will give you some ideas of how to practice these spelling words. Now, I'm going to link some videos that I've made in the past about how to make spelling fun. I'll link them down below because I used to teach school and we had to learn how to spell sight words and all kinds of things. And I did like to make it fun. So one way to handle the spelling here on the Seatwork is some of these out-of-the-box ways to practice because you've got to have a way to practice. Just them being on the paper isn't enough. So I'll link those down below if you want to check those out. So we've covered simply don't do the Seatwork pages. Photocopy a page for each day. Put them in a clear sleeve. Now, if you don't want to do the out-of-the-box stuff, because I know that doesn't work for every child. My son When we first started homeschooling, he loved all those little silly ways to practice spelling, like writing with a dry erase marker on the window and all those kind of things. Well, he's 13 now, and he really just wants to get the job done. You know, spelling's just something to move through to get to the other stuff. So you can always do this. So the fourth way that we can handle the Seatwork Journal pages, or Seatwork pages, not Seatwork Journal pages, is to just simply use a spiral notebook. I mean, those are so cheap, guys. They always go on sale at the beginning of the school year. And this is one way that you can handle the Seatwork pages. So if you do make a copy of it or you have it hanging somewhere for your kids to see, they can simply grab their spiral notebook, do their copy work, practice their spelling, and this is that old 3 times each, you know. You could get them to do different things with it, but I'm just doing this as an example. This works just as well, and it gets the job done. I also talked to somebody through one of my other videos, and she had this great idea of, she just cut out the copy work and glued it on their paper so the kids had somewhere to look and somewhere to write their stuff. And then she glued their spelling list, and I thought that was a great idea. They have it right here in their notebook, and then they can practice their spelling words, and you could even check them off as you practice them. So a good old spiral notebook works just as well too. So that was my fourth way. Now, here we go. Number 5, now this is only going to matter if you're doing the year 3 units. They came out with something wonderful called the Seatwork Journal. And so this kind of solves the problem of how am I going to handle seat work? These things are amazing. Do you need them to complete Gather Round Homeschool? Absolutely not. I'm not saying spend more money, okay? I wanted to try them out because I'm always like just wanting to see what's out there. And so I wanted to try it out. We love Gather Round, and I was like, okay, this would be neat to have it all in one place. Because to be honest, sometimes I forget to go back and do spelling, or I forget to do the copy work. But because of this Seatwork Journal, I didn't forget it. It was something that my son started his day with. The great thing about these Seatwork journals is you buy it for the level that your child is on. So it's their spelling words, their copy work, and it's a page for every day. So I showed this in my psychology flip through, but I'll show you again. So this is for lesson 1. There's their copy work, there's their spelling practice. On the back, they have vocabulary, which this is also found on the notebooking page. We just wouldn't do it when we got to the notebooking page because he did it here. It has character traits, current events, and even in the psychology one, it has grammar. So living off the land, dinosaurs does not have grammar in it. And I'm not sure about past psychology because we haven't gotten to entrepreneurship or Vikings yet, but there is daily grammar in here. So I loved this one. We did the dinosaur Seatwork Journal and it didn't have grammar and it was fine, but I really felt like I got more bang for my buck because there was grammar in it every day. Also with this character trait box, I really stuck to it this time and actually talked about a character trait every week. I mean, I'm pretty proud of myself because we don't always do that. But they do have different ways to practice and it just rotates. Every 4 days, you start back over. So it's really neat and it worked out great. So if you're doing a year 3 unit and you want to know how to handle seat work, here's the dictation one. And you want to know how to handle seat work, the Seatwork Journal is a good option. If you're willing to spend a little bit more money. I mean, for me, I only have one child. I could see where it could get expensive if you had more than one. But I love this option for him. You can get it in manuscript or cursive, and I thought it was great. So definitely check those out for those year 3 units because it just has it all in one place for you. And so that's wonderful. So that was the 5th way, purchase that Seatwork Journal. But you're probably sitting there thinking, well, we're not doing a year 3 unit. We're doing a year 1 unit or a year 2 unit, and I want something like that. Well, maybe one day they will go back and make those for those other units. That could be something. You know, you can always write in and send them a suggestion. Or they may come out with something even better, a way to handle it moving forward. I don't know. But we're doing some year 2 units next year. And we got so used to this little journal. I was like, what are we going to do when we do those year 2 units or even back to those year 1 units? Because there's a couple of continents that I haven't done that's from year 1. What are we going to do? Well, the teacher in me, Lord, I can't help it. I love to create things. That was kind of like my thing when I taught. And so I made up my own Seatwork Journal. So you may look at this and be like, girl, I don't have time to do that. You know, I've got a ton of kids. I don't have time. And I get that. I totally get that. But if you like the idea of the Seatwork Journal, this is just another option. I'm just trying to throw the options out there for you. That's all I'm trying to do. So we're planning on doing ancient civilizations this coming school year. And I wanted to have something like a Seatwork Journal for my son to do his work in. So I made something. I pulled up PowerPoint and I made it. And so I tried to include the things that I really liked about the Seatwork Journal they made and made it for myself. So I did it by lesson. I have his copy work, a place to write copy work, and then I have spelling and his spelling words and activities for each lesson. Now, the thing with ancient civilizations, there's a part at the bottom, it's called digging deeper, because it says, you know, there's no way to teach everything about ancients, and so your kids can dig deeper each week on a topic. And so I included a blank page where my son can dig deeper on some of those topics that he wants to. Like I said, this was just made specifically for my son for us to use at home. So I mean, it's nothing professional. I'm not selling this, but I tried to do something different with each day. So he's got a word search, he's got the word boxes you have to fill in, and then I even included a day with for dictation and for a spelling test. And so I did that throughout all 20 lessons, and this is for the middle school level for ancients. Another thing that I put in here in his Seatwork Journal was a place for vocabulary. So I just went through the teacher's guide and I picked out words that I thought, they were the bold words, but I didn't pick out all the bold words. And I just put them here on this side, and he's going to write the definition and he's going to draw a picture to help him remember it. And so I included a whole section of vocabulary. And then I also included some narration pages, because a lot of the units contain narration every fourth lesson. And so while I like to do them orally, I thought I would try to get him to do some written this year that's coming up. So I left for each lesson, like for week 1, I gave him 4 boxes. So 2 on the front and 2 on the back. I'm going to let him look at the list of narration questions, pick 4 that he thinks he can write me a good response to and can answer, and then the rest we're going to do orally. So that's everything that's in his Seatwork Journal that I made. Now, if you think this is something that might help you, I'm going to share this in the files on the Gather Round Homeschool Facebook community. Now, again, this is just for middle school. I have not made this for all the levels because, one, I don't have access to all the levels. I purchased the middle school. I don't have access to all of them. And so I don't know the spelling words and all that kind of stuff for the other levels. But this was made in PowerPoint, and then I made the cover on Canva. But if you're interested in that and you're thinking about doing ancients, then that's going to be in the file section, and you can certainly download it. Like I said, it isn't professional. I was just making it for my son to use at home, but I hope it can help you in some way. So this will be in a PDF form that you can download and use for the Ancient Civilizations Middle School Seatwork if you want to. Let me know if you do, because I think it's great to share things that we make. Let me know if you use it and if it's helpful, or if you have any questions, but please don't hate on me and tell me something's wrong with it, because like I said, I'm just doing it to put it out there because I made it, and I thought some of you might be in that boat too, where you need some Seatwork help. So that's what I plan on doing. If we come across that we're doing a year 2 or a year 1 unit, I'm just going to go back into the template where I made this one and just make it for that unit. So that's my plans. Right now, I only have the one for Ancient Civilization Middle School. So let's do a quick recap. Recap it all. If you're wondering, what in the world am I going to do with the Seatwork pages? 1, you don't have to do them at all. You can throw them out, use all of it, use a little bit of it. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. 2, you can photocopy the Seatwork pages for each day. 3, you can put it in a clear sleeve, but again, you got to have some way to practice spelling. So you can check out her awesome ideas. You can also check out my videos all about how to do spelling in fun, hands-on ways. The other thing you can do is put all of that in a spiral notebook, and that's where your kids can do their copy work and their spelling. Number 5 is to purchase a good old Seatwork journal for the year 3 units, or you can be extra and you can make what you need. And so we needed one, so this was the last way. I just made my own. Again, check out the file section. I'm going to share that there in the Facebook community. That's where it will be. So if you have any more questions about spelling, about Seatwork, about Gather Round, or about homeschool, leave them in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.